What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Nerdy Volume Podcast. If you guys haven't been here before, welcome. And if you guys are coming back, welcome back. We're going to be talking today about the Uncanny Counter episodes 3 and 4. So sit back, relax, and don't forget, turn it to 11. Okay, so where we left off was at the noodle shop. You had Somun and Mr. Huang literally sitting down at the table at a face-off. And literally, when I first saw that, like I'm pretty sure I said in the last episode that we had, like, yo, this is only the second episode. I was like, how are we already here? I'm just already making kind of my own judgments. I'm like, oh, there's probably a bigger baddie later on, a bigger bad guy, or maybe a team up of some sort. I'm not sure. I doubt it because that's not how Uncanny Counter works. You never know though. So open minds. Am I right? And you obviously see that when Mr. Huang and get into they're like who's stronger bit. You see Hana and Miss Chu. They instantly they're like, whoa, what's going on? Because the territory's up and they can sense Mr. Huang. And Mr. Huang was he was testing himself, seeing how strong So Moon was. Boy, was he mistaken. Boy, was he not supposed to be there, kind of deal. And literally, because there was actual people there, he's more of a menace that way. I think that he was in absolute control of that situation. Even though he could have took some people out, he probably would have died then and there. But this is the opening of the third episode, y'all. This doesn't make any sense of how fast this has gone until I realized that I thought there was going to be 16 episodes. Did you think?
I thought there were going to be 16, but I guess there's only 12, right?
Yeah, there's 12. And I'm like, oh, man. And then I think last or the first season had only 10. We had 10 episodes.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Was it 10? I'm pretty sure it was 10. And because of the 12, I was like, well, I guess it's longer now, right? Instead of thinking otherwise, because it doesn't work that way. Oh, no, the first one had 16 episodes.
Oh, so this one is shorter.
Counter punch. That means that there's probably been a third. Am I right?
Yeah.
Netflix Korea. What's up? Third episode. Don't mind what I'm doing here. I just got an infinity cube here. Like a fidget spinner.
Yeah. Okay? Where is my fidget spinner?
Keeps my hand from touching the keyboards and researching things that I'm supposed to already know. Like how stab. And so you see that Motak is training Jokbong at the jumping area. and he jumps and it's just like a regular, like this is how high I could jump.
Not even a regular jump. I think it was like he jumped like 10 inches from the ground or something. He's like
yeah, he gave a high five to the wall. And that's obviously when they got a call from the police station because Mr. Ma is doing some crazy stuff because he's sad. He's enraged.
Yeah, he's super enraged.
He is grieving for his wife. And I don't blame him, man. He goes back to work. Apparently, nobody knew he went back to work, but he was able to get into a truck, which is strange to me. But he just must have known, like, when they wash the car or when they're just kind of cruising in the bay. And then he just literally takes it out. He takes the fire truck and literally stops. He goes to stop Mr. Park or Park Sung-wook.
Yeah.
The guy that he thinks killed his wife.
The transport bus, right? The police transport bus. He stops it
with the fire truck, which is pretty nuts. He tries to. Does he fights the cops?
Yeah, he like with a fire hydrant, like freaking hoses a few of them down, and then he kind of like throws the other ones around. He like kind of. I don't think he ever beat them up, but he did throw them around, and I guess they were weak enough that they got knocked out from just simply that. And then he went and grabbed an axe.
Yeah. But Motak got to him prior to. So, and that actually sets Mr. Ma on his way to.
Yeah, he was pretty close though. Because he broke the door open and he starts. He's hacking this thing around trying to kill Park, and doesn't succeed. And right at the end, it's like he has him pinned down. He's about to do it, and that's when Motak comes in. It's like, hey, no, this is not you, bro. You know, you're not like this.
Right.
And his statement was, how can a person take another person's life, right? and then he shoots. He like strikes his axe down, but it just like hits right next to him, right next to Mr. Park. It doesn't kill him, right? Because he can't. He's not like that kind of person.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately leads him to go to jail for attempted murder, battery of a police officer.
Which was kind of hard that I was just like, you're a fireman, dude. He's super strong. These guys gotta like, they gotta cut through like metal doors. They have to kick through them. A lot of strength goes, or is tied to his profession. And it was weird that he had a little trouble with the cops where he could have just like literally chucked them. Like, and I was just like, well, I guess in this case, they don't want to do that. They don't want to glorify a fireman. They should have, because those dudes are strong. I'm not going to lie. And after that whole, you see Ego, was this the group, right? And, the funniest thing in this scene is, so you see the name of Dr. Choi's company, or Director Choi, not Doctor. You see it on top of the building, right? And then then the camera goes back down and it goes to the driveway scene. You see a bunch of IKEA flags in the shot, and I'm like, oh, that's an IKEA.
So funny.
And I'm like, that's too funny. I'll just say, you can make one big sign on a building, but you couldn't like maybe blur out the IKEA. But it was just too funny. It was too. I was like, when I was watching it with my brother, I was just like, yo, why did it say IKEA there? I was like, I don't remember them going into an IKEA. And then I'll just say, hold up. I went back 10 seconds, and I'm like, oh, I think this is supposed to be an IKEA, but they put his name, Director Choi's company name on it.
That's so funny. You'd think like post editing they would blocked it off or something, change the color or something,
or block it off. Yeah. No, all the flags was there, and they were moving in the wind. I was just like, oh, geez, funny. This is too good. I was just like, yo, IKEA. This is an IKEA, and that's where they had to relocate. At the beginning, I'm like, or remember where they were walking in? Director Choi's like, yeah, I don't mind those guys. They can't see us. And so
Motok goes, the guy just like, what the heck? I didn't mean physically. I was died. Like, Motok would do that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, someone's like, hi.
Yeah, he's just like hi the whole time. Nobody's responding to him.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah, that was so funny.
That's the funniest. That's the funniest part. You go into their new spot,
which is high tech as fudge.
Like, way high tech.
Yeah, they're like,
have a freaking boxing ring.
Yeah, and they were like, "You've been holding out on us, bro. Why didn't you tell us about this place earlier?"
Right? Got a jukebox, a full kitchen, and I'm just all like, "Dang!" I was like, "Do they still run the noodle shop? Or like, what happened?"
No, that's closed down, buddy.
Because
I'm pretty sure Director Choi also owns the noodle shop, so it's probably just like closed off for now, but it's not like sold. Hopefully they get to go back to their noodle shop, because
that's sad if they can. Well, especially for the neighborhood, because they're kind of used to that, but it's better for the group to not be there.
Yeah.
And then it's and then they all start to train, and I didn't know how much more stronger Samoon has gotten.
Oh yeah, right?
From the first, like he mopped them up, all of them, by himself.
Well, and you have to also remember that he has been training on his own since what's her name? He died. He's been trained like nonstop. They remember, because they had to stop him. Like, hey, stop training. We have to train together. Say, we can do it. Oh, we can do it. We can do it together. It's what they kept telling him. Totally on a whole different level. Like he was, like you said, mopping the floor with these guys, right?
It was really crazy to see Hana. She was all worn out. She was just like, oh, she's like, why? And I'm like, dang, he is that strong. That strong.
But she got the last punch in and knocked the heck out of him too. Because he's like, you need to stop thinking. You just need to act. Then she goes and wham, just knocks him in the chin. He's like, pooh.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
And she's like, I did it. And then passes out. They all just pass out together. Oh man, definitely Samoon is on a whole different level of like strength and everything. And
absolutely,
freaking you have Jokbong that is as of right now useless. He's not very good. And I don't know if people remember when we did the episode 1 and 2 of this, right? Yeah, the first and second episode. I made a premonition, right? That Jokbong is going to be like the prodigy. Like he's just going to learn how to do everything really like the best. Moon is going to be jealous. It's starting to look like I'm wrong. I could be wrong on that one. So they're now in this place, they're working out and whatever, trying to get better. But you have Motok who's kind of like feeling down, right? Because he kind of lost against Wong in their fight. And he part of him is like, maybe I'm just too old. Maybe I need to retire. And he then Mrs. Chu, right? Miss Chu.
Yep.
Comes in and she's like, what's going on? And they're just kind of talking about it. Like, maybe I should retire because of all this. And she's like, if you're old, then what am I? Right. And he's like, well, no, but he's like, but you're useful. I'm not. Like, you have the ability to heal and all this stuff. He's feeling a little down on himself. So we have that whole situation going on with him. And then we go to the next day, and then Hana is going to go running because she does that every morning. And of course, Jokbung is there waiting for her because he's digging her. He's going to join her in their run. So they start running. They're running around, and he gets super tired. So he's like, you want to get an ice cream? He went to the store to get one, and she hears music playing, and it kind of like brings back memories. And she goes into the music store, and there's a guy playing the piano, old crush of hers from high school that's there, and he kind of recognizes her. And mind you, if I remember well, I think all of these characters are supposed to be in comas, because the only way for their bodies to be like taken over by I don't know, I forgot what these spirits are called, right? Is it the canny counterparts is them have to be in a coma. That's why Somun was such a problem, because he wasn't in a coma when this happened. He was very much awake. She's trying to like get away from him because we have a whole flashback of her liking him, and they were liking each other and all that stuff. But she's trying to get away from him, and then Jokbung comes back. He has ice cream. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing with my girl?" Pretty much. He's a little jelly. Falls and hurts his nose, right? And he starts bleeding. And when he does, he starts to smell like just a putrid smell, like the most disgusting smell he's ever smelled in his entire life. And that's saying something for a dude who deals with cow dung every day, right? Yep. So he's like, what's that smell? The guy goes, the crush of the old friend, right? The high school friend of Hana goes to grab something. And like, there's a smell. He goes inside the music store, and there is a demon in there. The whole time what he's been smelling is a demon. Hana and the demons are fighting. They're boom, 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 boom. By the time not the boyfriend, but the high school friend comes back, and they come like, whoa, they go back to the warehouse. He knows how to, he can smell demons. And we're like, okay, that's a pretty cool deal, right? Except apparently they smell horrible. There's that whole situation happening. And then we go to Somun goes to the prison to go see Mr. Ma, but Mr. Ma is like destroyed. He's devastated. He has no purpose anymore. He's gone. Right? He has no purpose in living anymore. His unborn child is dead. His wife is dead. What's the purpose? And nothing Somun says is going to like bring him back. So you see that Mr. Ma is in the prison. He gets in a fight with some of the people there because they think he's a pushover. He ain't no pushover. He kind of wrecks the freaking guy's face, right? He's beating him half to death. So he gets put in solitary, or I'm assuming solitary. But in the process, he chooses to take his life, right? He wants to delete himself, and he goes and he's going to hang himself. And in doing so, he pretty much he's weakened to the possession of demons. And a demon comes in and enters him, and they have a whole moment where he's like, oh, and the demon, this part pissed me off. The demon takes the form of his wife. So he thinks he's talking to his wife when he's not. He's talking to this demon. So you have that whole situation.
How dare they?
I know that was messed up.
And I think, when we was watching it, me and my brother, I was just like, imagine Mr. Ma is just so good, the demon turns into a regular spirit.
Just purified.
and super purified. That'd be so funny. Or like, he's just so warped thinking that that's his wife. He makes love to the demon.
That's so funny.
Thinking it's his wife. I was just like, wow. I was just like, my imagination is going wild for this show. We obviously know that that's not the direction it's going.
Right. But right.
How hilarious would that be?
That would be pretty funny.
Oh man,
that would be. I would have preferred that to some extent because my worst nightmares. Right. My worst nightmares are coming to life. Right? We have Mr. Ma, who's right. Unfortunately going to the dark side, and I'm like, no, fight it, bro, fight it. And he is. He's trying his best to fight it. There are multiple times where the demon is trying to tempt him to like let the demon take control of his body, and he's like, nah, homie, that's not me, right? But the next day comes around. Everybody's at the table. Of course, Jokbung is excited because now he has this superpower that nobody else has. He can smell demons. And then in the process, he starts smelling a demon. They're like, whoa, oh, I smell something. So they go after it. They realize that he's getting multiple scents. Yep. They do the one thing that every D&D player knows you shouldn't do. You don't split the party. And they did exactly that. So you had Mr. Choi and Miss Chu go after the weaker demon, who they assume was a weaker demon, and the other 4 go after the stronger demon. What they don't know is when Mr. Choi and Miss Chu get to the museum, because I believe that's where it was, it's not a weak demon. Well, there is a weak demon there, but it's also accompanied by freaking Mr. Huang and Wong. Yep. And I just sit there going, fudge, one of them is going to die, aren't they? This is Dude, the moment I wasn't looking forward to.
Flag galore. Oh yeah.
I was terrified. Yes.
And let's not forget that Jokbung and Hana aren't there. They're in like a field, or no, they're driving.
At that moment, all 4 of them are driving. At that moment, all 4 of them are driving to the stronger one. Because
they're not in the building together, right? I thought that Jokbung and
no, at that moment when they separated, it was Mr. Choi and Miss Chu, because they were in his, what was it, Ferrari or whatever he was driving, whatever fancy car he was driving. It was them 2 in that car, so they went towards the weaker demon, and the other 4 went towards the stronger demon. So they make it to the museum. It's them 2 versus the Wong brothers, Huang and Wong, right? Well, they're only really fighting Wong at first, and they're kind of holding their own a little bit. They're getting their butts whooped, but they're not just getting wrecked, right? They're holding their own. But you could tell that Jokbung is like having a hard time. He's like, I can't. He doesn't know how to use his power very well yet. So they're like, you suck. That's pretty much what they're telling him. And someone is okay. It's okay. We can figure it out. And they're trying to call them to figure out what's going on with them, right? With Choi and Chu, but they're not picking up. So that's when they separate again. And you have Somoon and Motak go see what's happening at the museum. And you have Hana and Jungpung going to the field where the stronger demon is, which the stronger demon that they were smelling was Gilly. You have Hana and Gilly having their showdown. Mr. Choi and Chu are about to get wrecked because now Mr. Huang is getting into it with them. And right before he gets to like almost kills, because Miss Chu is fighting Wong with the spear, and she almost gets him. But of course, Mr. Huang uses his telekinesis power or psychokinesis power to control her body, and she's about to stab Mr. Choi instead because she can't fight it. And Mr. Choi is like, just do it, because the more she resists, the more she's gonna harm herself in the process. Right. And he's just like, just kill me. And I'm like, no, Mr. Choi, don't die, bro. And right before she does it, of course, Somoon comes in and like stops it, right? And then now is the real showdown between Mr. Huang and Somoon. Right. They start having their fight. And
this is only episode 3.
This is practically the end of episode 3. They're having their fight. It's going crazy. And this is where you find out Somoon is on a different level. Mr. Huang is nowhere close to his level. Not even close. Right? The only moments that he was able to like get a 1-up on Somoon was when Somoon was distracted by either somebody or some like a situation like that. But other than that, if he was focused on Mr. Huang had no chips in the game. He was not going to win. He was getting his butt whooped.
Exactly. Yeah, he was. Yeah. Jeez. I forgot that Motak helps. When Motak comes in with Someone, correct?
Yeah, because after he stops Miss Chu from killing Mr. Choi. Man, why does these names have to be so close to each other? Right? She goes after Wong, right? Because he's like, "Oh, you ain't getting away from me, fool! I'm about to take you out."
Right.
So she goes after Wong, and in their fight, Motok comes in, and he pretty much like tag team, and she's like, "You bet, bro," and they go. Oh man, you could tell that they've been working together forever because their combo moves were on a whole different. They were wrecking Wong. Wong had no chance against both of them together, right? They were just whooping him, and I'm like, man, Motok, what you talking about, bro? You still got like multiple decades before you start losing your edge. He's like killing it out there, right? So it's going back and forth between them two, like Motok, Chu, and Wong, and So-moon and Hwang, right? And Mr. Choi is like kind of out of it himself. Because he was knocked the heck out of him, right? So he's kind of like sitting there, barely alive. He's about Moon. He has Mr. Hwang like tied up by all these cables. He's about to tear him into pieces. He's not even going to exercise him. He wants to rip him limb for what he has done. Like he hates Mr. Hwang with every fiber of his being. Yeah. He was about to rip him apart. But of course, Mr. Choi, I don't know why, like, bro, just stay seated, man. Don't come up.
Like, or out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, man. But he has to come into the room where they're fighting. So Mr. Hwang grabs he like telekinesis the gun in his hand, and he's about to shoot Mr. Choi. And all you hear is a bang, and you hear someone go, Cha! And that's where that episode ends. And you're like, oh my gosh, did he just kill him?
Literally don't know why Director Choi had to just walk out like that. I'll just say you couldn't wait till the spirit was like, I'm like, bro, you're injured.
You're barely able to walk. He's like limping, kind of crawling on the floor. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you even in here right now? You should have just been seated where Miss Chu left you and just stay there until they came back for you. That's how episode 3 ends. It is crazy, right? Let's just talk a little bit about episode 3. So after everything in episode 3, like I have to say this because I think when they were at the beginning of episode 3, when they're in the noodle shop, I disagree with you in the regard that So-moon had Hwang be, because when they were doing their little telekinesis, or their psychokinesis, who's stronger ability situation, So-moon looked like he was struggling first. He started shaking. He was like shaking.
His power was different because he has to block Hwang attacking everybody else. So I believe he has to block everything that Hwang's doing. Hwang only has to. I don't know how it was, but you could be right. I thought that someone having to protect people along holding down Mr. Hwang's power, I think that it was definitely someone's stronger, but Mr. Hwang was in the most advantageous. I
can see that. I'll accept that. I'll definitely accept that as because you do have him, like you have him leave, right? Mr. Hwang leave, and what's his name? Someone's nose starts to bleed. And you're like, dang, he got you bleeding, bro. Right. And Mr. Hwang is walking outside. He's kind of grinning, and then he starts bleeding. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. It was a blow for blow. Yeah. Okay. Like the round goes to neither of the two.
That's true. No one won the round, but I definitely thought that someone was a little stronger.
But the way you put it, like not only is he doing this, but he also is trying to protect the kids and everybody in the noodle shop. I'm like, I can see that because now he has to like spread his powers even more, right? So
it's a thinner area.
Definitely in the museum, no contest.
Yeah,
So-moon was like, bet, bro. Let's see. Yeah, he's like I've come to destroy you. And you will be. He almost had him too. Like you started hearing like his clothes and like as he's pulling them apart, and you're like, oh, he's gonna rip them to pieces. And then Director Choi has to come out. And I'm like, bro, why?
I was like, why? Yeah, why? He's just like, oh, I'm gonna just come over here while he can't. He looks occupied.
Right?
I was like, no, you wait until he is gone.
Also, like I totally forgot. On the other side, where you have Gilly versus Hana and Jokbung is useless. he's like he can't really smell her because he's freaking out about it and all this stuff. And Hana's getting like shredded because I don't know if anybody remembers, but she has like little claws for like as a weapon. So she's like cutting her little bit. She's a believer in the death by 1,000 cuts. that's her mantra right there. So she's trying to cut her to pieces and stuff with her little knives, and in the process, Gilly kicks Jukbong in the nose, causing him to bleed again, and he loses his smelling abilities. So that whole situation is happening on their side by the time we reach the end of episode 3. So anything else you want to add about episode 3 other than Motok whooping Gilly's butt? Like that was obvious to me. Motok was destroying
Gilly?
Motok beating Wong.
Oh, Wong. Oh, I saw that happening. I saw that he was going to get his justice.
And he was beating up Wong on the bridge to an episode. What was it? Episode 2 or whatever. He was whooping him there too. The only reason why he lost was because Hana was thrown across to hit a car or whatever. And I was like, bro, just let her hit the car. She'll be okay.
She'll be fine.
She's a counter. Like you guys jump off of buildings
exactly. all the time.
What is this?
I'll just say it's the same difference, really. Like her falling to her feet, falling to her on her back.
Some people get hit by cars all the time.
For episode 3, I thought it was a little weird that Jukbong didn't have a longer period of time to train his smell. He didn't really have a lot of time to train, and he was a little bit super arrogant about it too. I was just like, oh, come on, bro. I was like, wait until you master it till you do that. I was like, master that bad boy.
When he was able to control the scalpel, he's like, look, I used my ability. I even it's like, okay, bro, you did it one time. Chill.
Yeah. But that was my only issue about that, is that Jukbong didn't spend the necessary time with his ability. However, he's still young and he's still new to the whole counter thing. So him being useful definitely got to him. Like, oh, I'm finally not going to just I'm going to help. And I figured that it makes sense because you kind of need a little bit more depth in his character. So yeah,
he's got to learn. He's got to learn. But I agree with that. Like, I was like, bro, just chill a little. Okay. But other than that, it was crazy that going back to the noodle shop, I was like, oh, bro, oh, man. And then seeing how that went down, I was like, okay, that's cool. And then the ending of that episode was so sick. The fighting scene was so good. I was like, someone's got you, bro. You got no chance. You're going to die here. This is where you're going to die or get exercised or whatever. So, but into episode 4 then. So episode 4 starts where episode 3 ends. The gunshot happens and you're like, oh, no, Director Choi. Director Choi is okay. So Moon, because his weakness of caring for his people, right? He jumps in front of the bullet, gets shot in the arm, I believe it was. And in doing so, allowed Mr. Huang to escape because he knew he was about to get whooped. He had no chance. And Miss Chu and Motok beat Wong and they exorcise him. They lost one of their enemies now. When they exercise, I don't know if you remember or not, but every time you exercise, you kind of like you get teleported, or you go into a trance that you go into Yang, right? That's what the place is called. Or they go to Yang. So there she is. Miss Chu is in Yang. Miss So comes out, and they have a nice reunion together. And what I really loved about that part, that they were both speaking in their languages. She was talking in Mandarin the whole time, and they were understanding. Like that's such a beautiful like representation. Like when you reach Yang or heaven or whatever you want to call it, like there's no barriers of language anymore. You understand each other. So I thought that was really nice that they were able to speak to each other in their languages and understand clearly what they were saying. I was like, oh, that's so touching. I almost cried a little. That was beautiful. And of course, Miss So asking about the other counters of her group, but that they weren't able to get them yet. But they will. They promised they'll get them. Mm-hmm. So that was great. So I'm super happy that Wong got screwed and now is back in the depths of Hades.
Yeah, right. Yeah, when they won, I was just like, yes,
let's go.
They got a dub.
They needed that. They were able to do that. On the other side, Hana's still getting whooped, but then she kind of like she connects with her inner daredevil in the sense that she uses her other senses, but her sight to hone on where Gilly is, and she did, and they started fighting, and freaking Hana grabs her claw, the Gilly's claws, and stabs it in her eye. She only has one eye, and she can't recover from that because their only healer is gone. So she is now a Cyclops and super pissed because she lost her fight. But her eye patch looks pretty dope. So it's kind of a win-lose situation or a win-win, depending on how you want to see it. That was pretty dope.
Definitely took a big loss. They took a huge loss.
Yeah, man. But
the Evil 3.
She did get something out of it though. She was able to connect in or see into Hana's mind and saw that Mr. Ma was the husband of Minji, the woman that they killed. So they're going to use, and that they have a relationship with him. So now they're like, oh, we're gonna go do something with him because let's kill him or something. Because I think that's what they wanted. Their intention was to kill him because that would hurt them. So here you are, and then that goes into like Mr. Ma, and he is fighting back and he's getting constantly tempted by this demon to let it control him, and he keeps fighting it. So there's that whole situation. I'm like, bro, just fight it, bro, just fight it. Then we have Jokbung, who is he feels useless now because he can't smell. He didn't really help in finding these demons, although he did technically. He just not good at it. He decides to leave them and go back home to pick up cow dung for the rest of his existence, which is pretty sad.
He goes all home.
But of course, the gang does not let him do that because Hana, even though she always acts like she's annoyed by everything, right, by everybody, there's a moment where she's starting to run, and she kind of like remembers when he came with her, and she's kind of sad about it. And then it kind of goes to So Moon, and he's remembering because they shared a room together, and he's like, oh, it's lonely without him in my room. They find that's where he finds the letter, and that says that he's no use to them. He's useless, and he's just going to go back and live his life. They no, we're family. Oh, on top of that, I forgot. Director Choi rips So Moon a new one because he's like, how dare you sacrifice your life for me? If there's ever another bullet that comes my way, you better let it hit me, right? Because you are more important than any of us, right? That's what Director Choi is saying to So Moon. Like, I will not, don't ever do that again. And So Moon's reply is no. I will always jump in front of the bullet for you. And his argument was that if you think I'm so strong, then you should believe that I'm strong enough to protect you when it comes time to it. And you're just kind of like, either you don't believe in him or you do. Right. Oh. So Director Choi had no way to fight that argument.
Yeah, because he was just like, if you're gone, we're done.
Yeah. I'm like, the rest of us are dead. We're good as dead. And I'm like, that is true. If someone dies, they're not going to survive. I don't know if there's anybody who can fight them. So very true. They go and get Jokbung back because they want him back. On their way there, Jokbung's dad is very upset with him because like, why are you here? Like, go live your life, right? He doesn't want his son to live the dad's life. He wants you to live a different one. But Jokbung doesn't understand that yet. He just wants to be with his dad. He tells his Jokbung to go because the village chief he orders something, so he had to go drop it off. And in doing so, the village leader son is trying to kill him because he wants him. I think he wants him to sell something. I can't remember what it was. He wanted him to sell something, and the chief leader was like, nah, or the village leader is like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. Why am I going to do that? We come to find out that the son is possessed by a demon. Jokbung is like coming in just in time.
That was as soon as I saw the dad talking to the son, and the son's like, Dad, you got to sell the place. I was like, oh, that's an evil spirit demon.
Yeah. Yep.
I was like, that's not a good sign. Because what good son would get rid of like huge land like that?
Right.
And he was like, obviously the son probably was ashamed that his dad didn't want to do that. I was like, because I kind of want to look into the character of like, why did the son become an evil spirit demon? He looked like he had a good job, unless the job.
Oh yeah, he was well dressed and everything.
Well dressed. Mm-hmm. Who's to say that he's not getting
probably lives in Seoul?
At work? Yeah, probably, or maybe on Gangnam. You never know, and that's why I'm just all like, that's such a weird stance, but it made sense that he was there, or not made sense, but it makes sense that he would be one after saying those things to his dad and almost freaking stabbing him.
Yeah, he like pulls out the knife.
He slashed his ACL, right?
Oh, he did. Because when he started running away, he like cut him there. He's like, ah.
That's nuts. And then that's where Oh
no, his
Jung
Achilles.
Bong,
I think it was his Achilles. And Jung Bong comes in and he's like, what the heck is going?
And it's funny because then the son or the demon kid hits Jung Bong back in the nose, right?
And then he bleed again.
It bleeds, and then the powers come back, and then he realizes that the dude's a freaking evil spirit, and he has to handle it. And what's crazy is that that's when the rest of his counter abilities came too.
Yeah, his strength and all that.
His strength, yeah, everything else that comes with it. It came right then and there. I was like, I see. It seems like he had a late start, should I say? A late bloomer.
He's a late bloomer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because when I saw him freaking suplex the spirit dude, I was like, yeah, right in the doo-doo,
Yeah.
And
of course, Soon and Hana come just in time while he's starting to fight him. They're just like, all right, keep it going. They just like, they start watching the show. They're like, okay.
Yeah. And then they made him
exercise the demon. But they call it something else. They call it, I can't remember what the word they use, like present the demon or something like that. They call it something.
I thought it was cool that he did that. That was his first demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember his
counterpart.
His counterpart. I have no idea what they are. And he's like, I told you to do the bare minimum. And he comes in with a spirit. I was like, that's how you do it, bro. Good job, Jokbong. And good job to his what's his name? Jungkook.
The counterpart.
The counterpart. Good on them, because Jungkook wanted the perfect counter guy.
Yeah.
And he got Jokbong, and finding out that Jokbong has a power and is now,
and he was super happy. He was like, he's like, oh, you're so happy, yeah. And then he's like, older brother. And he's like, older brother, I'm older than you. He's like, yes. And he's like, I'm like, that bro ain't older than you. So I thought that was hilarious that he just got like, you're older brother, you're my older brother. I was like, that's so funny. So Jokbong is now the older brother of everybody, apparently.
Right,
because he's older than
so
Moon. And they come to realize, they're like, homie, you're good. You're supposed to be part of this family or whatever.
Right. Absolutely.
But he comes back. He has a touching moment with his dad. Jokbong has a moment about the shoes. They both buy each other new shoes because they think they deserve it. And they come back, and then they pretty much head to Mr. Ma's trial.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had Director Choi's lawyer come in, like the best lawyer in Korea.
When you got Director Choi taking care of everything, you ain't losing this fight. But so they just pretty much tell him, like, just tell the judge that you regret it. That's all. Just you regret it, and you should. They'll let you go. Whatever. You'll do whatever small sentence they'll make you do or whatever, and He gets up and he's like, I regret it. I regret everything. And they're like, yeah, okay, good. There we go. I regret not killing Mr. Park. And now I'm like, he's gone to the dark side. No, my fears have come true. Oh, the one thing I was hoping he was going to be able to overcome. And who's in the courtroom? Because they Mr. Wong and Gilly are there. Once again, probably to kill him, but they find that he has a demon in him. He's possessed. So they're like, oh, we got better plans now. We're going to use him.
That was Mr. Ma. That was Mr. Ma speaking. That wasn't the demon yet.
Wasn't it?
He didn't have the red eyes. Remember when the demon takes
the black eyes?
It becomes red. Yeah.
Oh, are they red? You're right. But still, he was there. He was pretty much there. He regretted not killing Mr. Park. He's on the ledge. He just needs a little push.
And what a way to end it too. And I was just like, okay, is this the introduction of the new third? Because Wong is gone.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't know. I was just like, that's going to be an ugly showdown for Mr. Huang.
The issue is, like, Mr. Huang is easy to beat, but Mr. Ma is not. Mr. Ma is your friend.
Yeah.
You love this guy. And now he is, and I'm pretty sure So Moon knows that he's possessed. Because he got up when he started saying, I regret not killing him. He got up and he was like looking at, to me, he was looking at him like with like a sense of suspicion. Like, there's something not right here. So I'm like, does he know? Does he know that he's possessed? Can he sense it? But I'm pretty sure that Mr. Huang knows that he's possessed. I think he can sense it for sure. My question is, what is Mr. Ma gonna do when he finds out that Mr. Huang is the one who killed his wife. Will he be?
It's going to be a terrible showdown.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
I guess, but the question becomes: who has more control, Mr. Ma or the demon inside of him? Which one will control him more? Because I don't think the demon cares.
Oh, yeah. But what I realized is that all the demons, they kind of follow each other, especially the stronger one.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But will Mr. Ma at that moment have like more will, a stronger will to fight than be possessed by this demon? I don't know. My nightmares are coming to reality right now, but I guess we have to wait and see what's going to happen to when he does find out, and I hope that he just shreds Mr. Huang a new one. And I really do hope that his smelling ability gets better, because gosh darn it, he needs.
Yeah, for real.
He's still a baby in comparison to everybody else. A crazy episode. Crazy 2 episodes. I can't wait to watch the next 2.
Yeah, it was just like the first 2 episodes. You're like, wow, like the pacing is so nice. And going from scene A to scene B, like for example, like in episode 4, you see scene A is with Somun and Mr. Huang, and then scene B is with Hana and Gilly, and then you got the C is the with Wong and Motak and Miss Chu and director Choi. Like how they can mash everything together to make it one flawless episode is really nice. I really like seeing that the pacing in this season more than ever. Yeah, I definitely can't wait to see more of what's going on in the story for sure.
I agree. I think the pacing is really good. There's not a lot of a lot of shows have like those fillers that is just long episodes of just nothing but talking, and you're like, okay, and then you get the cliffhanger right at the end. This show is not doing that for us right now. It's constantly just like making you go, why? Like I'm pretty sure I looked through the episode. I looked a few times thinking we were at the end of the episode because it felt like a cliffhanger, and it wasn't. Mm-hmm. It was just 10 minutes into it. You're like, oh, okay, this is nice. Let's keep going. But man, I'm super scared for Mr. Ma. I'm really hoping that he has a stronger will. I'm sure. Obviously, he's gonna allow the demon to possess him, right? To take control. He's already been possessed, but to take control of him. But I really hope that when he finds out that Mr. Huang is the killer, that he takes control of his body again, his mind or whatever, and fights him.
Yeah,
because that'd be that. I'm also very happy that Miss Chu and director Choi didn't die, because that was terrifying to me.
You made that. What is that? You foresaw their deaths for something later on, and then when I was watching the 3rd episode, the end of it, I was like, wait.
I was like, no, please don't. Please don't.
Yeah, I was like,
we still have how many more episodes? We still have like 8 more episodes for them to die.
8 more, yeah. Mm-hmm.
8 more episodes for them to die. So I can still be wrong. I can still be right. I just hope I'm not.
There's still more to come here for sure. There's a good chunk of meat left for this.
I wonder if they'll make a season 3. I guess it depends how this one ends.
And I hope nobody loses an arm or something like Naruto or something.
Because I don't think they have bionicle arms yet.
I don't think so. Or puppeteer with chakra.
Yeah.
Nah. All right. Well, that wraps up this episode. Don't forget to follow us on IG, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Anchor FM. You can listen to us every Monday on Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. Subscribe to the YouTube channel to check out our videos, and please leave a comment. Don't forget, turn it to 11.